Hello and welcome back to Mental Health Matters. My name is Andrew Ditzel and this is episode 18. Today we have an awesome guest on, Zach Zimardo, who's going to talk about his experience with mental health in terms of navigating some noise. We'll be right back after this. Alrighty, so we have Zach Zimardo here. Zach, welcome on the show.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.
Great
I appreciate it.
Great having you.
Oh, this is a long time coming. We've been trying to set
Yes,
this up.
we have. Yes, we have. And we're finally here in the flesh. I think we're going to have a good episode that people are going to either resonate with or we're going to make some awareness for mental health. So
I hope so, man. I think that the two of us have a great experience together, a great connection. You know, I'm really excited for the next hour or so. So thanks for having me, man.
Let's do it. All right, so let's get right down into it. Can you give us a little bit of background about you? Tell us a little bit your story, your upbringing. I know you personally. Everybody on the show or watching might not know where you're from. What's the deal?
Yeah. So for those of you who are watching, listening, my name's Zach Zimardo. I'm 29 years old, although I look a lot older. That's probably because of all the stress and chaos that I've had to ensure. And
some noise now.
Yeah, there was a lot of noise that we've had to deal with over these crazy 29 years. But 29 years old, grew up in Massapequa Park, all right, on a good old Monroe Street, the home territory. Played baseball as a kid, was very competitive because I had 3 younger brothers. So we were all very big into sports. And life was good growing up early on. And essentially just due to some chaos and due to some obstacles that happened throughout life, the childhood went from being really, really good to kind of not so good really quickly. And parents got divorced when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And like I said, Andrew, up until that point in time, like life was good. Like I remember like the big parties during like the holidays. Like we would have like Christmas parties of like 25, 30 people going on. Like Coach Joe Pinto, like he was coming over for like the Christmas parties, like bringing over gifts. The neighborhood, like it was like the Zimardos were the place you want to be. Unfortunately, due to life's obstacles, circumstances, parents got divorced. And like I said, not going to go into details, but it was ugly. My mother and father decided to have no sort of connection with one another. Because of that, there was a very big split in the family. And I was a daddy's boy. And so most times when you're daddy's boy, it doesn't matter. Dad can do no wrong. You know, because I was a daddy's boy, my dad, after the divorce, grew up rough. As in, like, he not grew up rough, but he developed rough after the divorce. And because of that, I saw a lot of rough things. I was picking up cans in the Massapequa Preserve for 5 cents a pop at 13 years old to try and get money for my father with him because he didn't have money to eat because he spent all of his money on drugs and things he shouldn't be doing.
And that was normal for you at the time. That was like, this is what everyone's doing.
Yeah, no.
'Cause you're young. You're like,
yeah, that was the worst thing. Like, it was crazy. Like, I just thought, like, I had, like, the cool dad who would, like, do stuff that you're not supposed to do. And, like, he's a rebel. Like, he's a bad boy. So, like, dude, like, IGA supermarket. Like, if anyone from IGA is listening or watching, I'm sorry. But, like, I was robbing IGA at, like, 12, 13 years old, shoving, I'll never forget, like, packets of the pre-done bologna in my pants. And my dad was taking, like, rolls and shoving them in his jacket. He'd be like, Zachary, like, and I'll never forget. Then we go and eat them at like Brady Park, and we're eating them at the local joint, you know, on the big stage. And the only thing we paid for was like our sodas, but yet we got like a whole meal and dessert.
Yeah.
Because my dad stuck ice cream bars in his sock. Like, but that was normal to me. But that's like how I grew up. So like, I know like that sounds very nuts, but to me, like that was like it. And you know, because of me being so close to my father, like, you know, caused me to not be so close with my mother. Without like going into details, like my mother had her own shit and was kind of messed up in her own ways, different from my father's. But both my parents didn't do well after the divorce, and they both kind of went down really ugly paths. And unfortunately, I'm not going to focus on them, but I'm going to focus more on me. It screwed me up for like a while, you know?
And I think divorce is hard and not many people talk about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as a kid, like I don't have personal experience with my parents being divorced, but understanding that having parents go separate ways is a challenging experience growing up.
Yeah, it really is difficult. And like, especially when the parental units on each side don't get along and they don't want to get along, or one side can't get along with the other, it just causes more chaos and miscommunication. But I'll be honest with you, Ditz, like, I still was okay until like, my father like did what I guess in the mental health world is like something that we hate to see, and I guess we like get heavily saddened when we hear or see this happens. And my father like got involved with some bad things. He lost his job in Long Island. He went down to Florida, and he was roughed up down there in Florida. And I'll never forget that it was Christmas Day. I was in 8th grade. It was Christmas break, and my father calls the house phone. I'm living on Monroe, and gives me a call, and he's just like, "Hey Zach, I love you. I'm proud of you. Oh, you're the man of the house. Keep rocking and rolling. Take care of your mother. Take care of your brothers." And he was crying, and I was sitting there, and I'm just like, "Shit, like something's wrong," but like I didn't know to the extent of what it was, and it just kind of got to a point where I was like, "Dad, I love you. I don't know what's up, but like, hope everything's all right. I'm like, talk to you tomorrow." And he was just like, "I love you, Zach. Just like, be well, like, take care, and just like, remember everything's gonna be all right," type thing. And I woke up the next day and found out that next morning that my father, committed suicide. He took his own life, and that's what really screwed me up. Thank God for sports dits, because sports were like an outlet for me.
Yeah.
But like that moment, I went from being like one of the best kids like in my age to kind of being like still good, but like I dropped off.
Right. You were saying academically, athletically,
Oh,
lots of friends.
dude.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I was getting really great grades in middle school, man. And like I had dreams to go to Princeton. And like after my father passed away, I remember I came back and I just like gave way to everything. Grades, taking care of my body. I put on an enormous amount of weight. Like I always was a big kid, but I got cut from 8th grade baseball because I was too heavy.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, shout out Brad Lyons. But like, yeah, like it screwed me up. And because of that, growing up in high school was tough.
Yeah.
On the other side, my mom was an alcoholic. And I don't want to go into details with her, but and she's in recovery now, so I'm very happy for that. And anyone who's in recovery, I have a lot of respect for, regardless of their past history. However, the past history as a mother was very ugly towards her children, and because of that, I essentially grew up with like no father and an absent mother. Thankfully, due to having a lot of willpower and the faith to believe that better things are coming, and having great friends as a support system, I never gave up. And like I said, to you and to the viewers, sports were a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And sports kind of kept me kicking throughout those tough times. And I eventually was blessed with having the opportunity to play a little bit of high school baseball. And I had a lot of success my senior year, as in like won the county championship with the fellas. I walked on, which was incredible, but not only did I walk on to that 12th grade team as a senior, as varsity, but had a 0 ERA as a senior.
The closer,
as the
right?
closer.
Yeah, baby.
Shutting shit down, man. It was beautiful. It was a great time. Shout out Mr. Coach Sheedy for taking a chance on me, because if he didn't take a chance on me, he wouldn't have allowed me to then develop and play baseball in college as well at the University of Oneonta. So I actually had plans to go to the Navy out of high school, But then due to some mental health complications with the loss of my dad, I was going to therapy at the time, and they needed more documentation and what medication I was taking. I think later in the episode we'll talk a little bit more about medication and whatnot and that part of mental health. But it was crazy. One minute I was going to the Navy, and then the next minute it was like, oh my God, I'm going to Nassau Community College. And then 1 year later, I'm up in SUNY Oneonta, and
where we both went.
So me and Mr. Ditzo, my man over here, we got our paths cross a lot. But when we got up to Oneonta, it was great. Made a great group of friends.
Yep.
Walked onto the baseball team there. And don't get me wrong, when the good was good up at Oneonta, but the bad was bad, as in started to get into drugs and alcohol a little bit. Started to push the body to the limit with things I shouldn't be doing, as in just like staying up long nights, not getting enough sleep, not taking my vitamins. I know it sounds corny, but just putting the right food and nutrients in your system is super important. And just not doing any of that. And then, like I said, more and more booze. And then I started with weed, and then it got to this, and then it got to that. Next thing you know, I'm doing things that I said I'd never be doing. And I'm in education. My major is in education. Like, I'm going to be a teacher, and I'm like, skiing. You know what I mean? On a September weekend, and I'm just like, what am I? And it was not pretty. Like I said, the good was good, and the college teammates and the camaraderie, but the bad was bad. But I was lucky. Surrounded myself around enough of the right people. Yeah. I was able to graduate Oneonta. And after Oneonta, I'll be honest with you, that's life is a bit of a shit show.
Yeah. Well, this is where I want to check in and say, at what point did you realize that you started to have some mental health issues?
Ooh.
Because I think what you're saying is drugs, alcohol, you're getting into things, staying up late. And I think a lot of people with mental health issues use that stuff to cope with what they're going through. So at what point did you say, all right, maybe let's step away from this and say, all right, what's going on mentally?
Yeah, I know that's actually a great question, because like back then I just thought that I would be like doing all these drugs and like drinking so much to kind of fit in and like socialize and be part of the crew and crowd, and that was part of it. But the other part of it, I think, was like I had something seriously going wrong up here mentally and chemically within my brain that I just was never fully able to identify. And what ended up happening was I graduated Oneonta, and I made the decision. And this is where others kind of maybe saw some things kind of develop, but I didn't see it fully. But even the decision to make this was a little bit alarming. I decided that post-college I'm going to go drive across country in my Honda CR-V. And at the time, it was amazing, and it was a fantastic time, and I did things that people wish that they could do and they dream of. Like, I mean, I've been to the Grand Canyon, I went to the Grand Canyon on that trip. My buddy Joe Rosello, like, flew out to Phoenix, Arizona with me, and he traveled with me all throughout Arizona, Nevada, came to Vegas with me. We went to Lake Mead, we went on to the Hoover Dam, and I did all these great, amazing things. I ate Southern barbecue. You got to get your ass down south.
I've been to Texas, actually.
And you have barbecue?
Texas, Louisiana.
So you've had some barbecue? Yeah. How good is it?
The spice. I'm not like a huge spice guy.
Okay.
But I can do it in moderation.
You can do it in moderation, here and there. It was good, man. But my point being is, like, everyone looked at me and they were like, Zach, you're crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a little crazy. I'm a little off the walls, but that's the Zach you knew in Oneonta. So, like, this is normal for Zach. But some people are like, this isn't always normal. And that craziness a little bit in college developed a little bit more. So it went from like, all right, we're going to drink and do some drugs like in Oneonta. Now we're going to drink and drug like all across the United States of America. Yeah.
And in Oneonta, it's almost like, all right, this is a little acceptable because everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Not that it completely is, but
correct.
It seems more appropriate. So now you're saying after you graduate Oneonta, now you're still carrying these things with you, and it's like, all right, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And exactly. People are kind of like, ooh, he's not toning it down yet. But
Yeah.
I'm like, no, rock on, like we're good, like. And the trip was amazing. The trip was fantastic.
Yeah. Some positive takeaways. From
Oh
that trip.
yeah, great. And
Ton.
then it was great until it wasn't because I'll never forget. Like I'm coming home and I at the time, you know, like I wasn't doing like the hard stuff as often. I mixed and matched when, you know, it became opportune, but I wasn't going out of my way for it. But one thing I would go out of my way for is marijuana. And I'll never forget that morning in Denver. I'm looking for like a little joint I had, like totally legal in Colorado, like 'cause out there it was like one of the first states, and like I'm trying to cope with my mental and the stress of driving across the country. At that point, it's like day, I don't know, 30 on the road, 32, and like I'm stressed and like I got a schedule to meet, and I didn't plan the trip well the first time, and I'll never forget. I'm tossing all my bags because I can't find this little joint in like a little box, and I toss my car dits for like this $3 joint, and I'm freaking out because if I don't find the joint, I'm gonna definitely get pulled over while I'm driving across Lincoln, Nebraska, because just with my luck, they do these drug stops, and I know they're gonna smell the joint, and I'm gonna be arrested. So, dude, I throw my bags, and I end up finding it. And it was like right in my glove box, essentially, and I was like, and I start to smoke it, finish smoking it. I'm good for like 5 minutes, and then I just panic.
Yeah.
Like,
Would you say that was your first panic attack? Or not to that extent?
full-blown panic, like something's wrong in my body, in my mind. I don't know what's going on. And I'll never forget. And like right now, I'll get into it later. Me and my mother do not have the best relationship now for reasons, but back then we were okay. And I remember calling her, and I was just like, Mom, something's wrong. She was like, what do you mean? I just broke down crying. And that's when I knew. That was the first moment. Not like I had a problem, but that was the first tick, as in like something could be off. And I ended up being so strong, Andrew, to get home from, think about it, Colorado.
Yeah, it's a long trip.
But I was full blown having the come down of, and I don't want to spoil too much, but I was having the come down of
What we're going to talk
what
about
we're going to
later.
talk about later.
Yeah.
And that come down involves heavy depression. This wasn't the worst one I've had, but this was a sign. And I made it back to Long Island, and immediately my friends and my mom and my brothers were like, what's wrong with him? I wouldn't eat. I was sitting in the dark, didn't want to socialize with anyone. And I started to get heavy feelings of suicide. I said, I want to kill myself. And my mom was like, we never experienced this before. My family has never experienced any sort of mental health crisis like this.
On her side, you say?
Like within like her children or like any of us. Like my dad, of course, went through crises, but they were divorced and he was out on his own. But like, she's experienced with
see what you're
herself.
saying. Yeah.
She's never seen it. So she's like, holy shit, this is my son. So the first time was I went into a psych ward, which is crazy, man. And the psych ward is tough, man. You're in you know, I'm sure maybe some people watching, or those of you who've been there, but, you know, they strip you down to everything. You're not allowed to have any laces or strings. You're wearing these gowns. I call them fuzzy sock vacations because they put you in these fuzzy socks. And it's very demoralizing, especially the first time I was there, because, like, one, I didn't understand mental health. And two, remember, I'm this high school athlete.
Yeah.
I'm this college athlete. Great with the ladies at the time. I'm tall, big guy, confident, loud. Fair to say that I could hold conversation, good sense of humor. And now this, whatever this is bringing me to my knees where I don't want to live. And something's wrong. So I go to the psych ward for like 8 days. And the psych ward I first went to was really bad. I even forgot the name of it. And my mom was like, we got to get you out of there. So it might have even been 10 days. So, but I spent Thanksgiving in the psych ward. And then I come out. I spend a couple of weeks at home. I spend Christmas at home. Right after Christmas, I get like really, really suicidal again. Mom's like, you got to go back. And now I'm in a psych ward for New Year's. And I'm in a different psych ward. And this psych ward was okay. And long story short, I got out of the psych wards. And that was the first moment where I realized mental health was a problem.
Yeah.
And I got diagnosed with essentially like clinical depression because of my father's death and just having a rough childhood and having an absent mother. And I didn't share this earlier, but I was beaten a little bit as a kid by like a ex-boyfriend of my mother's, and things were just ugly. But clinical depression, and that was my diagnosis. So they put me on essentially only depression meds.
Okay.
And these type of medications are essentially there to just give you a little boost and to make sure you don't get suey, and they kind of give you a little tick, a little giddy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny, like most of the doctors said that, but there was like one doctor who mentioned like, hey, I'm not really sure if like clinical depression is really what he has. And I guess that just like brings up like something that popped in my head is just like mental health is so like unpredictable, and like it's so touchy, and like sometimes doctors don't always get it right the first, the second, the third, or the fourth time, and medication changes and whatnot too. So
it's very challenging, and it's like, and I have these conversations a lot. You get sick with a cold or something, you have medication, you get better. You break your arm, you get a cast, it fixes your arm. With mental health, it's like, it's not a quick, easy fix like that. There's almost like some experimenting to figure out what is really making you tick. Like I like that you use the word tick, because it's really, how do you operate, and understanding that it's a journey with mental health.
Yeah, it was a journey, and I thought that was actually like the end of my journey. I was like,
I'm good.
No, I swear. I'm like, no, Andrew, I promise you. I'm like, dude, I hit my rock bottom. 2 psych wards, 27 days. I'm chilling.
Yep.
I'm good. Clinical depression. I'll be depressed my whole life. I'll take my meds. I'm straight. And I thought like that was the end. And like, I'm just gonna be a normal dude that had the one-time psych experience, go through the mental health crisis, and that was it. And that wasn't the case.
Yeah. So let's lead into that. So now let's get into, so they thought it was just downs, right? But then we're starting to realize as you move forward, it's not just the downs, it's the ups and the downs. The ups and the downs. And what indicated that for you, the ups and the downs?
Yeah, man. Like, it was probably like, I went on like a run of just like good vibes. As in, like, when I got out of the psych ward, and all this happened so quickly. Remember, I'm only 29, and like, this happened when I'm like 23, 24-ish, leading into 25, because that's 25 is where I'm about to talk about. But
Yeah.
and listen, like, I'm sorry, Andrew. That's actually funny. We're live. I didn't know I had this on.
All good.
I told you guys.
We'll be right back after this.
No, I told you. I'm very raw. Like, this is very Zach, so I'm sorry, everyone. Nah, like leaving, leaving that psych ward, like I thought that was the end. So I kind of like was like, all right, let me rally. I had some great friends like that literally visited me in the psych ward. They were great homies, and I got a teaching job, and I felt indestructible because I'm like, yo, I overcame everything. So
Well, there's something to be said about overcoming something very challenging and then being on the other side of it, like, all right,
oh no,
I made it.
Oh, you really
Yeah.
feel like jacked up, but the problem is that like due to my mental disease, which I'm about to talk about, like I just naturally get jacked up. So like for a guy like me to overcome something like that, it was just heightened.
Right.
And it makes sense as to why I was always so cocky. And some would say I was kind of like a prick growing up because like I'd always be a little in your face and heightened and like take things a little too far with the shit talking. And like even until this day, I gotta watch myself because of what I have. And I keep saying what I have. I'm just gonna get to the. I guess let me drop
We're
the
all
bomb.
waiting. We're all waiting.
But I have the very unique experience because it is a unique disease where there are. It's not like I'm one of a gajillion, but I'm one of very, very, very few that are comfortable enough and healthy enough and willing enough to talk about living with bipolar disorder. So I have bipolar 1.
Okay.
Which is essentially a disease that I'm still learning about how to fully comprehend fully. But essentially what bipolar disorder is essentially you have highs and lows to the extreme. Not just like having a couple bad days at work and, you're slouched around 1 week, but then you're okay and you're feeling better the next. And with bipolar 1, it is like long periods of weeks to even months of chemical misbalances in your brain, and due to like your environment and the substances you're using and your diet and your relationships and all trauma and all factors, you could essentially have what's called mania, or which is like a high, and then you could have like depression, which is just a low, but they call it manic depression or mania. And manic depression is just the depression that comes following mania.
Right, the come down.
The come down. And essentially, this is what was happening to me my entire life did. But it wasn't to the extreme. So think about it. I come home from the cross-country trip. That's a high, man. Who's driving across the country, smoking cigarettes, blasting, AC/DC, going 25 over the speed limit in Texas? I am. That's a high. For as high as you jump, gravity's got to pull your ass down. And that shit would bring me down. So that psych ward stuff should have told me, like, yo, you have something that's serious that you need to monitor. But I'll be honest with you, I got off my depression meds and I just naturally started to really live life good. I was dating a girl at the time. We engaged in some very high intense behaviors that a guy like me was already at that point. Like, we lived a very great life. Like, we were going out partying. We went to some clubs. We went to music festivals. We went to places we shouldn't be, doing things at. And like, essentially, I was living very hypomanic. And hypomanic is like, you're living a high, but you didn't hit the high yet.
What, kind of like a build-up almost?
A build-up, yeah.
Okay.
Like, just building and building and building. And then I'll never forget, it was December of, I think, 2021. So like just like 4 years ago, pushing 5 years ago, or pushing 5 years. Like January will be like 5 years of the mania. So I'm really coming up on an anniversary, I guess. But I was living with this girl. I was on Christmas break from school. I'm teaching, actually. I'm on my Christmas break. And I'm like drinking beers at like noon, smoking pot, cigarettes in the house while she's at work. And I'm a big gambling man, and gambling is a big vice of mine, Andrew. And just like drugs and alcohol or my vice, gambling was too. I fight with someone, I fight my girlfriend, I go bet $1,000. It was like stupid of me. And I would love to talk more with you on the side about the gambling and addiction and whatnot, but
maybe another episode.
Another episode where we talk about gambling. Oh, listen, I'll talk that whole time too, man. I could you can bet on that. You like that one, right? You can bet on that. Nah, but I was gambling a lot at the time, and I ended up getting connected with, and just for like, morale and just like privacy purposes, I won't say their names, but I got connected with a very, very successful at this point streaming gambling person online. And he kind of took me, not under his wing a little bit, but he kind of gave me an opportunity to kind of go on his stream and perform. And it was essentially, I just go on, give a gambling pick. And bro, think about it. Someone who's hypomanic, loves uppers, loves to party, loves to be the guy. Yeah, let's give him media attention in front of the camera.
Thing.
And Andrew, it spiked a manic high episode that people till this day still don't know how I survived. And I could sit here and we could do like a 3-hour movie on just that manic episode. But I was essentially manically high from the beginning of January until like mid-February. End of December, honestly, even. It's like 8 to 10 weeks. And in this process, I mean, I lost like $50,000 to $60,000 of gambling and just like spending money on things I shouldn't have. Took out loans that I don't remember taking out. I lost relationships with friends, some that I still have not recovered from. Like some of my best friends from Little League still don't talk to me because of it.
Yo, I have a really interesting question that's coming up for me. You said it was like 8 to 10 weeks, right? Did you feel like the higher the manic was, the lower the depressive was to follow it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
so it was almost like you're going up. The more you're going up, the more you know you're going down on the way back.
Yeah, but can I be honest with you, Andrew? Like, at this point in time, like this manic episode was unlike the others.
Okay.
The others were like, you could still fit into society and like, you could get away with it. Like, Zach's just a little crazy. No, this one was like, I was on social media, like, sending out 500 tweets a day. I was making 500 phone calls a day. I was cursing out anyone who wasn't agreeing with what I was saying. Anyone who was picking up the phone, I was offering them jobs and making up companies and businesses that didn't even exist. I was joking about it with my buddy Mike the other day. I was like, yo, Mike, how much did I offer you when I was manic for that job? He's like, yo, you didn't give me an actual number. You just said 6 figures. But, like, depending on how the business goes, you might make it $1 million. And, like, essentially what mania is, and bipolar mania is like your speech gets impeded. You start getting chaotically unrealistic feelings of grandeur, very high intense behaviors, participating in sex that you shouldn't be, high risk, actions, and essentially, but it all is normal in your brain. And it would be like the equivalent of like drinking a bunch, smoking crack, doing cocaine, and mixing like most cocktail drugs, and then timesing that by 1 million. Like mania is one of the most insane feelings. And it's funny, like when I was away in one of these rehabs recovering, which I'll get into, there was a kid I met, guy I met, Kevin, and he's like, Zach, I'm addicted to the mania. As in, like, there are people watching who are going to listen to this and be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? If anyone bipolar listens or, like, watches, the feeling of mania is, like, something that you, as someone who doesn't have bipolar, will never experience, you know? It is like a euphoria in your mind that transforms to your body where you legit feel like Alexander the Great, like you could conquer the world and you could achieve anything you want to put your mind to. And anyone who goes against you, like, you're going to clear them out of your path. And that's what I did, man. And because of this, I ended up like losing all the money, losing friends. Girlfriend kicked me out, and I was like, it was bad, man. Like I was living like in my car in like John J. Burns Park, like freezing cold, like January, February. Having like my friends deliver me, the ones that stuck around enough to deliver me like food and water, but they wouldn't give me money because they know that I would try and start a new business or like, give it away for my podcast that didn't exist yet. And it was just, it was sad, man. I mean, I'll never forget like my buddies Frank and Matt. Like I drove home from like the local bar, drunk, lucky and blessed enough, some type of higher power saved me, where I woke up in the John J. Burns parking lot, wasted, 3 hours later with my car running. Holy shit. Manic. But being like, yo, even when you're manic, you know right from wrong. Like you think everything you believe in is right, but you can still know like you can't murder, you can't steal, you can't drive drunk. And there's a difference between being manically high and also mixing and alcohol. And I was like, well, that one was a close one, but I laughed about it. I was like, ha ha ha, like this is good. But I had no gas and no money left. So like I had 2 of my friends bringing the red gas tanks, filling up my gas. Like insane behavior. And then like through this chaos, I like tried to drive like from New York to Las Vegas with no money and only the gas in my tank, no driver's license, and I went on Instagram Live for the whole time.
I never knew that.
Yeah, man. Good thing you missed that live. Good thing you missed that live. But trust me, there were some people that were watching. Like, I'm in New York City, and people, like, turn around, go to the hospital, you're crazy. I'm like, screw you all, like, assholes, like, follow your dreams. And people are like, what?
But that was when, like, that's a prime example of some manic behavior.
Oh, absolutely. Like, full-blown mania. And that is when people were like, shit. He doesn't just have clinical depression. He was misdiagnosed. He has clearly bipolar disorder. And bro, it took until me literally running out of money, friends, resources. I literally like fooled Nassau Community Hospital to escape from there. And that's a story for another day. But essentially, like, I'm back on the streets. We're like 8 to 10 weeks. I would love to look up my calendar one day and look at it up at like the timeline. 8 to 10 weeks I'm on the run. And goddamn, freaking, no signs of stopping. And then, bro, eventually, there's a lot of things that had to happen, but I get brought down to Florida through an old family friend of mine. And, the world and God works in mysterious ways, and I won't say his name for purposes of privacy. But he got me down to Florida, and I'm still 2 weeks down in Florida, manic. And then, boom, I'll never forget, I had a Zoom court hearing between my mom and her boyfriend, and they had an order of protection against me. And they said they wanted to keep it, and I had to accept the charges, terms, and whatever. Digitally signed via, the digital documents that were dropped in the Zoom chat. It was crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And I got out of there, smoked a cigarette, and when you get out of the mania, it doesn't dwindle off. Some people it does, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know enough, actually, but the people who I've talked to, because it's not common you run into someone at the deli or, at the mall who's ringing up your check or, your pocketbook that have bipolar disorder.
Right.
And if you do, you don't talk about it.
That's what I was going to say.
If you do,
Even
no
if you
one's
have it,
talking about
right.
it.
Yeah.
Trust me, Winston Churchill had it. It's not like right before he led England into war, he was like, oh, just want to let you know I took my bipolar meds today if I had them,
He was raw dogging it, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's a sicko. He might have been.
Don't leave
raw
the
dogging
camera
it.
angle on me.
Sorry,
Get in
bro.
here.
Sorry, bro.
I know I'm scary.
No, I know, yeah. Don't growl at me, all right, like you were before, all right? But nah, like, I lost everything, and, like, through that process, it took me losing literally everything. And like, my limit was, like, the court case, the court hearing. And some people, it's gradual. For me, it was that. I clicked, and the moment my depression set in, I was like, holy shit. That was the lowest I've been in my entire life, was coming out of the mania. And I then got released 2 weeks later from that facility because my insurance was running out. And I was full-blown depressed, wanting to kill myself. No, like, Andrew, when I say, like, wanting to kill myself, I'm not talking, like, really be great if I'm dead. No, like, I'm talking about, like, waking up, like, in the morning saying, I want to fucking die. How can I kill myself right now? What is the plan? What can I do? And the only thing that would, like, put any ease to my mind would be, like, the feeling I got right before I knew that I'd be able to go to sleep. Because, like, it would take hours for me to eventually fall asleep because my rate was just racing.
Yeah.
But, like, the moment I would be able to fall, like, food wouldn't, nothing. Sports, food, I wanted to die. And remember, at this point in time, like, my family was pretty distant. I was alone, man. I was in West Palm Beach sleeping in the park alone, under trees, and I'd be, like, looking at, like, the trucks passing by, being like, oh, which one can I throw myself in front of, bro? And I say that wholeheartedly, like, no joking, like, full blown. And
Yo, and I just want to pause you real quick too, because it takes a lot of courage to talk about it, and so many people take their lives, and they never talk about it before they do. So I appreciate you talking about it. And, I mean, the whole objective of this podcast is to let people know that they're not alone. With whatever they're going through.
Correct.
We talk about bipolar 1. I struggle heavily with anxiety and all different things. It's not one thing or another, and letting people know that it's okay. You're going to be all right, and there's no reason to do something that you're never going to get back.
No, I agree with you 100%. And, like, especially talking about how my father did it, that was a big driving force where I was kind of like, I can't go down that path.
Right.
But
so that was good. That was almost like a motive. I don't want to be like that.
Yes, correct,
Okay.
100%.
Right.
And
Yeah.
but it was scary, man.
Yeah,
It
dude,
was,
it doesn't take away from the...
Ooh, yeah, it was scary, man. And thankfully, like, at that point, I don't know what the motivation was, to be honest. Because, like, maybe it was my father. Maybe it was just, like, some friends of mine. I did have some people, like, that did stick by me through it all. And, you want to talk about 100 pennies to, like, 4 quarters real quick. I'm not even talking 4 quarters. I'm talking, like, $2.50. Like, I mean, we had nothing. We had no support. But the ones I had kind of got me through, and, like, it was actually a friend's dad. A friend's of mine dad and a close friend of mine that kind of were two of the homies that kind of stuck by me. That recovery was the toughest. Like, and I know we're going to talk about what I do now and, like, what motivates me now to stay the course, but that recovery from hitting the depression until I got good, like, I was so bad where I literally picked up the phone and called home, and I was like, if I don't get home today, like, I'm taking my life. And I was ready to do it. And the people who were involved were like, let's get his ass home. And I literally showed up to the West Palm Beach airport with a pack of smokes, a lighter, my phone, my wallet with no ID, and the clothes on my back. and any items and clothes that I had, I left in West Palm Beach, and flew home. I had to go through extra security because I didn't have the ID. I have like an old expired one that you have to go through like extra TSA bullshit. They will take you. At least they would have a couple of years ago. Get home, and no one wants me around. No one. And they put me in the Best Western on Sunrise Highway, and I'm there for like 2 weeks, sleeping in the dark every day. Still suicidal, man. Like wanting to die. And anyone involved, like, I know, like, this isn't like let's fact check Zach shit, but like, no, like, everything I'm saying is real, man. And like, that's how like crazy my story is, I guess, because like I wanted to die and like almost did it. Like, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, I had any crazy attempts where like, I pulled the bullet, and by the grace of God, like, the bullet did. No. But like every single day, like I woke up with the intention of wanting to do it, and then I would either maybe like see something on the TV or like think of something, and all it would take is like a little glimmer to not. But I woke up every day with the intention of just like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And I'd be mad at myself, like, if I woke up. Like, I would wake up. I used to, like, if I'd wake up and then I couldn't go back to bed, that would be, like, so aggravating.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you wake up in the morning and then you're able to go back to bed, it's amazing.
There's nothing
right?
like
There's
that,
nothing
bro.
better. Like, you wake up and you know that, like, you're still tired enough where you could hit the sheets again and you're going to zonk.
Yeah.
When I couldn't, that would be, like, my biggest scare because then I'd be like, fuck, I now have to face the day.
Yeah. Yo, the word that's coming to my head is frustration.
Yeah.
Like not being able to get back to sleep and just being frustrated with yourself. What is going on here? Like can we wrap our hands around what's going on here?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, remember, like I had no idea what mental health was super at this point, and like I had no idea what bipolar disorder was. So I went from being like, like life's good, I got a teaching job, girlfriend, to now I'm like in rehabs and homeless in Florida. Now I'm in a hotel in Massapequa. Like you said, what in the world? Like frustration, disbelief. I thought the whole situation was blasphemous because I also thought, like, remember, I'm like a athlete. Like I was at a job. Like I was doing things in society the right way. And like, how could this happen to me? Why me? And thankfully, I got blessed. People were looking out for me, and I got put into a facility in Connecticut, and it was a diagnosed addiction mental health facility. It was different from like the Florida rehabs I was getting thrown at.
Okay.
And this place was very like high end, like money wise, and I'm broke as shit. But family, friends, and like honestly, people donated money to help kind of fix Zach, and they didn't fix me though. It was 30 days to get on the right meds. And I finally got on the right meds. And with bipolar disorder, you have to be very strict with your medication because you can't get too high, go crazy again, but you can't get too low and want to be dead all the time. So it takes a long time for those strong medications to get into your body. It's funny, the doctor who I saw, it was this place called Silver Hill Hospital. And I'm not going to throw some names out there. Of some celebrities that like I was there with, but I was there with some like celebrities actually, but some past celebrities who went there, whose names I can say because it's known, like Billy Joel's piano was in the mess hall. So like it was a very highly respected rehab clinical facility, and they got me right on the right meds. And the doctor though was like, Zach, doctor's from Yale, obviously good, well-known doctor, and he goes, Zach, I've been studying mental health for like 12 years now as a practicing doctor, and you're not my first bipolar subject, obviously, because I'm in psych doctor.
Right.
And he goes, this is the worst manic episode I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I mean, think about it. Like the money lost, job, my credit score went down to a 30, like 030.
Oh my gosh.
Zach's credit almost didn't exist.
Yeah.
So if you ask me what my credit score is right now, I will not tell you. I'd rather tell you my weight and my shoe size and everything but my credit score right now, all right? Because
That's off the table.
Yeah, that is off the table. You say that, I'm walking off the screen, all right? But nah, bro, like, and I know, like, we've been very serious, and I know towards the end we can maybe joke a little bit more, but, like, the story needs to be serious because, like, I want people to know, like, you're not alone because, like, look at me. Like, do I have everything figured out? No. But, like, I could still smile and come on your podcast and show. And, like, I've been through hell, man. Like, that was hell.
Yeah.
And, like, That's just the stuff that we're talking about today. Obviously, as you could imagine,
Yeah.
there's grapevines and webs off of each
Yep.
shit that I gave you.
Yep.
And we could do, you were saying we could talk about this for hours.
Hours. No doubt about it.
We have a strict limit of an hour or so, give or take. But like, it was tough. That recovery was really tough. I mean, I could honestly say from like late April, so April, May, to like beginning of July, it was about a 3.5 to 4 month depression of like clinical depression, as in manic, like don't want to live anymore. And you could ask like, you know, Mr. Scott Craven was Danny's Craven's dad was very helpful for me through this process. I was texting him every day, I want to die, I want to die, I want to die, I want to kill myself, please. I want to die. And it was crazy. You don't know. You don't find out who your true friends are until you go through a crisis like that. And you don't find out who your true people are in your life until you go through a crisis like that, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, don't get me wrong, there were people that turned their backs on me during that moment and never looked at me the same, and they still don't. And there were people who I literally told to go screw themselves, and told them to kick rocks, and told them to essentially die themselves, and they're still around. Like, you know, like there are my friends who I literally went out for drinks for last night, who I told 5 years ago to like pull up to Massapequa because I'm going to bury them. Like they can hold a wrench and I'll kill them with my bare hands. And like, that's how crazy sick I was at the time. But also like, that's how crazily good some of my friends are that like they're still here.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's great to have a support system like that.
I got the homies, man. Like that's one thing. I don't have a family. I don't have a family right now. And I don't know if I ever will. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit more later about that. But like, not everyone understands mental health and gets it. So, but thank God I have some homies that were able to rally for me. And, you know, so I think that fits your, you know, the answer to your question perfectly, the highs and lows. Like, I literally have a disease that is known for the high and low.
Right.
As in, like, bipolar is diagnosable with the high and low. So, like.
And Zach, you know what I love about you is that you go through the highs and lows, but you take accountability for them. Like the things that you do on a high or maybe a low, and you're talking about how you're interacting with other people, you know, reflecting back, that's not me. You know, like that's what I'm going through. Yeah. And I think that's a very powerful thing to do, because I think a lot of people might be embarrassed by, oh, I did that, but no. Like, you're taking accountability and you're getting to where you need to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Like, you know, it's very much so, like, I think that's why I'm so, and listen, there's a lot of things that I'm not good at in life, but I don't want, like, this confidence to come off as egotistical. But one thing I am very firm and confident in is just who I am as a person. And it's because, like, think about it. With all the manias and the homelessness and the psych wards and the alcohol and the drugs, like, I've faced my demons. Like, for me to sit here and have any sort of success in life today, I need to be brutally honest with myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I've gone through that process heavily. I mean, since my mania was 25, I was 25, I'm turning 30. So I've had a little over 4 years now of full-blown reflection, recovery, holding myself accountable. So now, and like, it's funny, I got in like a little bit of a disagreement with like someone the other day, and I'm not going to go into who the person was or like what we were fighting about, but they made a comment about Zach not being accountable. And I kind of sat there and I just laughed. And I shut down the conversation. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, when you brought up like being accountable for your actions, like if you faced your demons or if you've been brutally honest and accountable with yourself, there's nothing that anyone out there is going to say to you that is going to get you off what you want to do or make you feel a type of way. Like, for example, if someone tells me, like, yo, if you were like, yo, Zach, you suck with money management, your credit score is shit, I'd be like, yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
Right.
Like, cool.
And that's not only from a mental health perspective, but I love just talking mindset as well. Like, that's a growth mindset.
Oh, 100%.
You know, like, acknowledging the things that you might be falling short on and saying, all right, how can I work on this? How can I make it better? I think that's great. And good from a teaching perspective, too. To talk to kids, and just to talk to people that be like, it's okay that you struggle with things. Like maybe it's you don't understand something in social studies, you don't understand something in math, but maybe you don't know something about yourself, you know, that you might be avoiding or not confronting, and
Correct.
just owning that and being humble enough to be like, I fall short. Like I fall short all the time.
No,
and
100%.
it's-
Like, and listen, like I worked. You know, I'm actually moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, which I love to. Hey, yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, I'm
One way,
excited,
baby.
man. Yeah, one-way ticket, bro. Yeah, I'm leaving on Christmas Day actually, which I'm a little upset about, but just for financial purposes, I'm doing it that way. But you know, I work with a lot of people at a job, and like I have friends, and it's funny. I'm leaving a job in a geographical location and family that are all kind of. I feel like that. I wish they would. I hope they all listen to this episode because you know I think that might fit with them. But like hold yourselves accountable, as in like. And I'm not calling anyone specifically out, but I'm just saying I met a lot of people in those three buckets: family, friends, work, where and the only reason I'm speaking like as if I have knowledge on this subject is because I honestly feel like I do, as in like I've done the work, as in like I'm in year 5 of recovering from hitting rock bottom heavily.
yeah.
And like it's not comparing, but I've had to go through crises that like people will never even have to go through, like ever even sniff about, you know? Like my roommate, like in one of these places was a 25 dude who did 25 years in prison, Irish mob for attempted murder and assault, and that was my roommate for 3 months. So like I've had to be in places where like people in their wildest dreams would never even have to think of.
Right.
So trust me, I've held myself accountable. Like
Yeah.
there were reasons why I'm with that Irish mobster. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I guess I'm trying to say is if like something's not going good in your life, or it's the job or it's the relationship, and you keep making the same mistake or the same feelings keep coming up, stop blaming the weather, stop blaming the sun, stop blaming you know the cousins, uncles, aunts, you know, armpit hair. I mean, like, no, I swear to God, though, because I feel
You're
like
right,
today
yeah.
everyone decides to like make excuses and they don't want to hold themselves accountable. But it just starts with accountability, and like that's why, like, but you know, we didn't talk much about it, but my life is in complete chaos and crisis right now. But like, it's okay because like I planned up here and I'm good up here, and I just have faith in my process and faith and confidence in who I am as a person. So like when a family member who disagrees with what I'm doing says, Zach, you're a little off the grid and you're crazy, I tell them, yeah, I know I'm crazy. Like
This is what I go through.
this is what I go through.
My
Like,
experience.
I literally have bipolar disorder. Like I
Yeah.
am crazy. Like because of it, I am off a little bit, and that's what I try to tell people too. Like I don't try and be someone I'm not. Like a lot of people try and fit in and be someone they're not. Like for example, I know a bunch of people that are like, and I know we're getting a little off topic of mental health, but just talk about mindset here. But I know a bunch of people who like live full blown middle class jobs, but now they're trying to dress and impress and go on vacations like they're the upper class. What are you doing?
Yeah.
For example, I love dressing like this. I showed up wearing my flannel, wearing a sweatshirt.
Yep.
Bro, I own one pair of jeans and I don't even know where it is. Like, I swear to God, I'm wearing like,
Yeah.
like you know, I'm not gonna. Yo, I know who I am. I'm not gonna show up to Andrew's podcast wearing a gym shirt because like I'm a gym bro. I'm not gonna show up here wearing a suit and tie because I'm a finance bro.
Yeah,
I'm like, no,
yeah.
I'm here because I'm Zach.
That's it.
Just be true. Yeah, that's what I'm
Be
saying.
you. Be you. I did an episode. I think it was the 3rd episode. Be you.
I know, I remember that one.
Yeah.
I know, I got
Yeah.
some catching up to do.
Yeah.
At work.
Yeah,
And
well,
I've been
I hope you
navigating
watch
noise.
this
Oh, I know. I will be watching this one, bro. No, dude, it's been crazy, bro.
Yep.
Navigating the noise. And
Yeah.
shit.
Yep. Yo, so I want to let you talk about navigating the noise, but one last thing is I always end each episode talking about my faith and how important that is to me, how important religion has been to me, my relationship with God. Is there anything that you lean on in times of struggle to get you through?
Okay. Wow. Ooh, I like that. All right. Yeah. Okay. So like, to help, it's all connected. So
Yeah.
like, stick with me here. It's all gonna click. and
Full
make
circle.
sense. Full circle.
Okay.
All right. So the cliche answer is like meditation and music, right? And I meditate once a day for like 10 to 15 minutes, usually in the morning, although sometimes at night to wind down I'll do it, and then music. And there's no particular music. I just like lyrics, and I like listening to music. So if there's lyrical genius, and things go good. But anyway, those things put me in the right mindset. And when I get in the right mindset, what allows me to get to that mindset, and what motivates me is with the help of music and meditation, it allows me to get to this point. And this is the point I need to get to, it is this. Because of mental health and my life crises and my father passing away, essentially getting disqualified from the Navy because of mental health. Mental health is something that I am so passionate about. And like I stated earlier, mental health is a complex topic where like not everyone can understand it. For example, like I've been to psych wards. Like I'll make the joke fuzzy sock vacation in like a social setting, and like one or two people out of the 12 will turn their heads,
right?
And I'll be like, you ate the shitty meatloaf. Yeah. But my point being is, so everyone is gonna have a different perspective and experience on mental health. Remember, history is taught through perspective, life is viewed through perspective and bias. But what motivates me is this, and it's kind of sad, but it's true. If you can't fully be an advocate for mental health, I'm cool with that. Right? Even if you can't be an advocate and you don't understand it, but you're open to understanding it, or you're just there, I could even live with that because everyone has differences.
Right.
But one thing that I won't stand for is people who like tarnish mental health and people who talk shit essentially about people's mental health and people that bring you down to your knees for your mental health struggles. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there nowadays, and I love what you're doing, brother, by the way, because you're one of those advocates, especially because of what you've gone through, and what you've shared about, which has been great that you are using your platform to do that, but also because you're an advocate. You're having me on to allow me to share.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's more and more people like me and you that are coming out now that, media is being more and it's more acceptable. But there's still a large percentage of people who will still, hey, you're soft, or, excuse my language, but you're a bitch, toughen up, especially to men. And unfortunately, like in my life, and it's sad, like the people who tarnish and trash and don't support mental health are like, not even really my friends, but are essentially like family members, very close family members of mine. And because of that, it sucks heavily for me that, my haters of mental health and my journey and process are the people that, I shared, dinners with. So much as so as people who have birthed me even. And I guess that's what keeps me going.
Right.
There are so many people that were close to me that said, Zach, you're literally not gonna make it. And I know in a sick, weird, twisted way that seems a little bit of like fiery, but for the past and the history that I've had and like for how low I've gotten and the rock bottom that I've hit, like I need to have a little bit of a fuck you in me to kind of survive those tough times, and I need to have a little bit of a mean streak in me. And I'm not being mean to like the person who doesn't understand mental health, but they're not doing anything wrong. I'm being mean to the people out there. Mean, by the way, I'm saying mean streak.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, mean to the people who are saying, oh, Zach's manic, when I'm just a little bothered. Because that happened to me a couple weeks ago.
Right.
I had a close family member of mine be like, oh, manic Monday to Zach. And I was like, no, man, I've just been heavily displaced and my life took a little turn. You wouldn't have had me on the podcast if I wasn't mentally okay. You know what I mean? So it's just very much like, these are my family members, though, Andrew. I guess to tie it into it, like, I guess my piece of advice to like you as you kind of go through your process, but also because although there's not comparing tomatoes to potatoes, but I'm a little bit more ahead in my recovery process than you are. So, but anyone who's going through any sort of struggle, I guess I would say is like, if you have a family member or a friend or a girlfriend or, a close uncle that's an uncle but not really your uncle, or an aunt, or, anybody in your life that's going to hinder your mental health, get rid of them. No, like, get their asses out of your life. And it's so hard to do because, like, it took It's been about 13 months. So I'm still learning that part. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been in recovery from my mania for 5 years now, pushing 5 years. The first 3 to 3.5 years, I relied on people who I thought I could rely on, and emotionally, monetarily, physically. And Andrew, not everyone who says they're your friends and family are really your friends and family. And honestly, I've come to learn that not everyone who you think is your enemy is always your enemy, and sometimes they're more of an ally than you think.
Right.
And so anyone who's listening and watching, like it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Like it sucks. I spent Thanksgiving alone, and like I'll be on a train to Christmas, to Charlotte, North Carolina on Christmas alone.
Yeah.
But for my mental and my peace, I need to do that because my family didn't want to support me through my mental health journey. Like on Thanksgiving, I actually got invited to a friend's Thanksgiving table. Like I got invited to friends' houses for Thanksgiving, and just due to like financial situation at the time and what I'm going through, wasn't able to swing it. But like it's so funny. Like I got friends' parents offering to feed me and to clothe me and to house me, but then I have, like I said, I won't get into specifics and who, but I have my own blood not picking up my phone calls, So if anything is bad to your peace, cut it. And like, I don't care what history you have, you need to cut it. Because anyone who's going to bring up your past and bring you back to a place of negativity, you need to remind them that's not who you are anymore. Like, that person's there, you're now going there. So don't bring me back to that guy.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And I think you're using a negative thing of not getting support from your family and turning it into a positive by motivating people who don't understand mental health and advocating for it.
Correct.
Which is a great thing to do.
Yeah. You know what? It's just like mental health's real, and like so many people struggle with it, and I just don't want other people to be in like situations like me.
Right.
Like,
because you, and I say this all the time, you would never wish what you're going through on anybody else.
No. Andrew, I could honestly say my life, I wouldn't change a thing in my life. Like, I promise you I wouldn't. Like,
I love that.
No, everything has its, like, because, bro, this is the happiest I've been in my life, and, like, I have my podcast, which I'll share later, but, like, life is good. I'm moving to Charlotte, and, like, but all of these things only happen if I change one little thing. Like, if one coin flip goes tails instead of heads, or one beer turns into a vodka, like, things might be completely different.
Yep.
So I don't want to change a thing, because look at this. I'm having this opportunity with you. We're going to grab a bite after. Like, I'm meeting up with some other friends, like, later this evening and over the next couple of days. Like, life is good. Like, why are we complaining? Like, life's good.
I love that. Yeah. I love that twist.
Right?
I love that twist.
I swear to God, though, but you can think about it. Like, bro, I could have made one left instead of a right.
Yeah.
And I could have made a totally different choice. Yep. What if I chose to go to King's College instead of Oneonta?
Right.
And I chose to click that button instead of that one. Yep. So I wouldn't change anything, but I just want people who are going through mental health crisis to not be caught in that same situation that I'm in, where it's like, you feel stuck. Like, I get it. Like, if you feel like your uncle and aunt or your cousin Jackie, so you feel, I don't have a cousin Jackie, and if any of you got a cousin Jackie out there, I'm not targeting you, right? I swear to God, I don't have a cousin Jackie. I promise you. Just want to put that out there. My cousins are not in that. I'm dead ass, I don't. But like, I just want to confirm with you for copyright purposes, all right? But no, if cousin Jackie is like causing you to spiral, right? And like, oh, but she gives me money and she's like sweet to me, and we went to the Taylor Swift concert. I don't care what Jackie did with you in the past, because if Jackie is trying to bring your present version of you into your past version, which is toxic for you, then why are you hanging around Jackie? I don't care if Jackie's been there. Like, if you feel heavily in your mind and you feel like you're straight as an arrow and you feel like you're thinking clearly, even if Jackie is giving you $100,000 in your life, right? But Jackie brings you to a point where your mental is so not okay and she won't respect your boundaries, your peace, and understanding you. Sorry, Jackie. Oh, but I gave you $100,000. So keep it. I don't want anything else from you. I'll get you your $100,000 back. Whatever you need, I'll get it back to you over time. Stay out of my life. And I know it sounds sick, but you have to get to that point in my eyes. And everyone's different, but if you want actually inner peace, which I'm trying to do, so that's what motivates me, bro. It's just like, I hate to say it, but like there are haters out there who haters of mental health. That's like what's my motivation. It's like literally, I swear to God, like my motivation is like haters of mental health. Like, and I know it sounds like, but no, literally, like I had a family member the other day tell me, he was like, "Oh, you're going to Charlotte, like, you know, you're gonna screw up. There's like this podcast of yours is stupid that you're doing." And he goes, "I'll probably be driving you right back to that mental health facility." And I was like, "Yo, you're making fun of mental health, bro." I was like, "Damn."
And that's your motivation.
Yeah, so now, guess what? I make sure I take my meds every morning. I make sure I meditate every morning. Guess what? Everyone's telling me, like, "Yo, Zach, like, you're financially not where you, like, you're broke right now." Yo, look me, camera, I'm broke. I know, I'm working on it. Like, there's not anyone or anything that's going to tell me that's going to fuck me up. So, like, yeah, like, am I moving to Charlotte next week with, like, hopefully a couple $100 to my name and I'm job searching right now? Yeah. I'm obviously not going to like talk about how I got to this point on this episode, but for those of you who know me or would love to know, hit my line. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, there's a reason how I got here. Life sucks sometimes. You got to roll with the punches. But if you're confident in who you are, you trust yourself, you're confident in what you're doing, like, you know, doesn't matter. So like, it's funny. Like, I'm moving to Charlotte, bro, and you're excited for me. So many people are hyped for me.
Yeah,
but those haters, all those haters are like, "Yo, go fall flat on your face." And I'm just like, okay. And I guess to tell the viewers and listeners, like, the past couple weeks have been pure chaos. And through this chaos, I wasn't kidding. Just like back when I was going through the mania, you find out who your true friends are. You find out the real ones who come to rescue. And, bro, like, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Dude, you've been a great guest today, and I would talk to you forever.
I know, bro. Thanks for having me, man. Are we at the hour? That's crazy.
Where are we at? We are just about at the hour here. We're actually over the hour.
Oh, we're a little over, a couple
minutes.
But
this is great.
Yeah, man. Thanks for allowing me to chat. Navigate some noise with you.
Yeah, and that's today's episode, is navigating the noise.
Yeah.
Yo, and I'll let you talk here about your podcast.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Honestly, right around the same time that like Andrew himself kind of got his podcast stream going, I don't know if like I started right after you, I think, but I was in the works a little bit. But like, long story short, I've been meaning to get into podcasting and streaming for a while now, and thankfully, I just got the confidence to kind of do similar to what Andrew's doing and start my own podcast stream, which has a mental health background, and we're actually currently setting up a nonprofit for like suicide prevention, which is pretty cool.
I know about that.
Yeah, which is cool. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, so like, it's a disaster kind of with the paperwork. But while we got that going on, it's not just mental health. We do a lot of just like feel good stuff, good vibes. We'll do trivia, we do content. We do challenges like the Hot Ones Challenge. We like mix in like pop culture, sports, government, travel, and essentially it's just a podcast once a week, 7 p.m. Via Twitch on Tuesdays. The channel is called Navigating the Noise is the name of the podcast, and ties into today's episode. Yep. And essentially the purpose of it is to help you, the listener, me, Andrew's on there. He's been a guest appearance. Just to navigate noise. And I know it sounds like cliche, corny, but navigate through life. Like a lot of our viewers are in their like 20s and 30s and mid 40s, early 40s to mid 40s that like are going through life crises, that like just got out of the relationship, just got through a breakup, just failed their college exam and now they got to retake a class. Like, and they just pop in and get a good laugh, smile, cheer. So
awesome.
Yeah, man. And we got some big things over there. So yeah, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. on Twitch, Navigating the Noise, and Instagram is where we're kind of focused on right now. We're going to try and branch off into other platforms, but appreciate for kind of let me kind of give our
absolutely,
out, man. Yeah,
mental health supporter is
dude, mental health matters, man. Mental health matters.
That's what I'm talking. So
we're doing
that's awesome, man. Yeah.
Hey, pleasure having me.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thanks,
awesome.
Appreciate it.
Guys, remember, you are not alone. Zach and I talking today about mental health, the experiences that we've been through. Whatever you are struggling with, know that you are not alone and that your mental health matters. We'll see you guys next time.